Greetings to all fellow seniors and cultivators.
In a world that feels, well, pretty chaotic and confusing a lot of the time, so many of us are searching for a clear path, right? A kind of spiritual blueprint to help us navigate all the turbulence. And today, that's exactly what we're exploring, an introduction to a really profound text called The Voices of Heavenly Tao. So here's our roadmap for this explainer. We're going to follow a 6-part journey that actually mirrors the very path laid out in the book itself. We'll start with its purpose as a compass, then uncover its golden key, and walk through the 3 big stages of awakening.
So first things first, where did this text even come from? Well, it wasn't born out of some academic exercise. It came from a place of just profound compassion. The book was compiled by a figure we know as Bodhisattva Yueh-Hui, or Shi Mu, who looked at the state of the world and just felt this deep, urgent need to provide some real guidance.
And this quote right here, it tells you everything. You can really feel the motivation behind the text. The preface explains that with so many people feeling lost, maybe practicing blindly, or just falling into confusion, there was a real danger of the true path being lost. So this book was created to be a compass for the soul, a guide to correct the little deviations, to reestablish order, and just offer a beacon of clarity in what can be a very distracting age.
Okay, so if the book is our compass, what's the single most critical piece for the journey itself? Well, the text is incredibly clear on this point. It all comes down to a sacred ceremony known as Receiving the Tao.
Now, this is way more than just learning new concepts or reading scriptures. Receiving the Tao is described as a direct, sacred transmission. It's a moment that forges a vital link to the divine source by opening what's called the mystic gate within each and every one of us. It's really presented as the greatest possible aid for true spiritual liberation. And this slide just illustrates the difference perfectly. The book, The Voices of Heavenly Tao, it gives you the map. It offers the blueprint and informs your intellect. But the ceremony of receiving the Tao, that provides the golden key. It doesn't just show you the door, it actually unlocks the connection. It activates the spirit. See the difference? One is knowledge, the other is activation. And that activation is what's called the heavenly mandate, or Tianming. The best way to think of it is like a divine authority or a golden thread that connects your individual soul directly back to the source. And according to these teachings, this connection is what makes real, genuine spiritual progress and ultimate liberation even possible. Without it, the whole journey kind of remains theoretical. So with that essential key in place, the book's 15 chapters lay out this wonderfully clear 3-phase roadmap for the journey ahead. And the structure is it's so logical. First, you establish the foundation. Next, you cultivate your inner self. And finally, you achieve wisdom. Let's walk through them real quick.
So the first phase, chapters 1 through 5, this is all about laying the groundwork. The main focus here is on understanding what the text calls the one great matter, which is really the primary purpose of our existence, that great question of life and death. The goals in this foundational stage are pretty straightforward. It's about recognizing that central purpose of our being, getting a grasp on the mechanics of cause and effect, and really solidifying that all-important connection to the heavenly mandate through the golden thread. It also makes it clear that true guidance is essential. You can't just walk this path alone. All right, so once that foundation is set, we move into the heart of the practice. Phase 2, which covers chapters 6 through 10, is all about the internal work, building your character, building merit, and, most importantly, developing a profound and active sense of compassion. This phase is where the internal transformation really starts to pick up speed. It involves aligning your own personal energy with the cosmic order, what the text calls the 3 poles of heaven, earth, and humanity. It's here that you practice a form of unconditional love and work to cultivate this deep, universal empathy.
In this concept, one-body compassion, it's just beautiful, isn't it? It's that deep, intuitive understanding that at our very core, we are all connected. We all share the same spiritual essence, and because of that, the suffering of another person isn't separate from you. It is, in a very real way, your own suffering. This realization becomes the engine that drives all compassionate action. So, after laying the foundation and cultivating the heart, the journey moves into its final phase, the dawn of wisdom. Chapters 11 through 15 are designed to guide the cultivator from that internal practice toward a state of profound clarity and transcendence. This quote just captures the essence of this stage so poetically. The goal is to transform our ordinary, often distorted ways of thinking into something pure and reflective. Your mind becomes like a perfectly still, clear mirror, reflecting reality exactly as it is, without all the usual judgment and distortion. Ultimately, this whole phase is about achieving a deep sense of balance. The merit you've built up through compassionate action has to be balanced with a clarifying wisdom. And this leads to a true understanding of reality, a transformation of your consciousness, and it all culminates in a state of being where you are both perfectly responsive to the world around you, yet internally, you're completely serene.
And that brings us to the ultimate destination of this entire spiritual blueprint. What's the final goal of all this work, of establishing the foundation, cultivating the heart, and achieving wisdom? Well, it's nothing less than complete spiritual liberation. This is known as Chao Seng Liao Si, and it's not described as an end, but as a superbirth, a liberation from the endless cycle of reincarnation, and a conscious, joyful return to the original divine source. That's the promise of this path, that through the teachings in the book and the essential grace of receiving the Tao, anyone can achieve this ultimate state of freedom. So this entire blueprint, from that initial call of compassion all the way to the final state of liberation, it really offers a structured path for anyone seeking a deeper reality. It's a journey that begins with one single, crucial connection and then unfolds through dedicated cultivation and the dawning of wisdom. It really just leaves us with a powerful question to reflect on for ourselves. Gratitude for the grace of heaven and the virtues of the teachers. Thank you, everyone. See you next time.